Today I'm going to give you an introduction to the college essay. The college essay is a 650-word essay that will be on the common application that students will submit to every college that they apply to. They may also use it for the coalition essay. Students should begin thinking about the college essay towards the end of their junior year. Ideally, they're writing it throughout the summer between their junior and their senior year and have it completed before entering senior fall. Some students will still be working on it in the fall, but they should absolutely have it done before November 1st, which is when early applications are typically due. This is a really, really important part of the application process. They're often more important than recommendations, extracurricular activities, and other qualitative factors. So after GPA, your grades, and test scores, the essay is the most important factor. It's also important because it's really the only opportunity that students have to speak directly to the college admissions counselors about something they care about. These are the common application prompts. As you can see, there are 7 in total. When working with students, I often don't even have them look at the prompts because, as you can see, number 7 says, share an essay on a topic of your choice. It can be one you've already written, one that responds to a different prompt, or one of your own design, which tells us that you can literally write about whatever you want on your college application. For that reason, you don't actually have to go with what the prompts say. Typically, students will write their essays and then choose the prompt that best fits their essay. When beginning the college essay process, students should always start with brainstorming. They should spend at least 2 hours in this process to make sure that they've thought through of everything that could be possibly included in their college application. Once they've done a thorough brainstorm, they should identify a compelling topic. We'll talk about what qualify as a compelling topic in a minute. Then, after identifying their topic, they'll want to write their first draft, second draft, and then as many drafts as it takes to finally write that final draft that you'll submit to colleges. When brainstorming, typically I tell students to start with a brain dump. Just list out everything that has anything to do with your entire life. It can be anything that you want colleges to know about you. Typically, I'll ask students to list at least 10 things they want to share with college admissions counselors in their application, and then make sure that's included in their application in some place. And the essay is a really great place to include that information that might not otherwise be in your application. Colleges will have access to your transcript, they'll see your recommendations, and they'll see your extracurricular activities. But the essay is really an opportunity to tell them about what makes you tick. What do you value? What do you care about? I have students sometimes ask their friends and family, what do you think differentiates me? Because the essay also needs to be very unique to you. College admissions counselors read hundreds and hundreds of essays, and yours needs to be able to stand out in the process. Another interesting brainstorming exercise I like to use with students is called 100 Brave and Interesting Questions. If a student is really struggling to come up with a topic, you can have them check that out. All you have to do is Google 100 Brave and Interesting Questions. So when selecting a topic, it's actually less important what the topic is and more important how the student writes it. The topic is really just the frame that allows students to show other parts of themselves. So what's most important is that the essay is really thoughtful and shares some insight into who the student is. It doesn't always need to be about an extraordinary achievement or an incredibly difficult challenge. Some of the best essays actually just focus on ordinary run-of-the-mill topics. I like this quote by Jennifer Gales at Sarah Lawrence. She says, it's not just about the topic, but why it's important to you and how you can showcase who you are as a student and an individual through that topic. So as I mentioned, the topic to me isn't as important as what it allows you to say about who you are, what you value, and what type of student you'll be on a college campus. That said, there are some topics that you should maybe avoid. And I say maybe because no topic is truly off limits. It just depends how you talk about it. So the first is any controversial or hot button topics. This might be politics or something that might offend anyone in any way. Sports is sometimes a topic that I don't recommend because it's very common. The more common an essay topic is, the more difficult it is to write about it. Because if you choose a common topic, then you have to make sure that the way you talk about it is really unique and really stands out. If you choose an uncommon topic, your essay is already going to be not common. It's already going to stand out. So it's a little bit easier to write. Finally, a meaningful relationship. This could be a relationship with a mentor, with a grandparent, with someone who you respect. Maybe it's not someone you know, but someone you look up to. This essay can be tricky to write because often students will talk a lot about the person they admire and not so much about themselves. At the end of the day, the college admissions counselors want to learn about who you are as a student and what you're going to contribute to their campus. And so if you spend the entire essay talking about someone else, they won't learn enough about you. Here are some general do's and don'ts when it comes to the college essay. You do want to make it personal. This is a personal statement. Sometimes students struggle with that because they're often not used to writing about themselves, but it really needs to be in their own voice and sound like a teenager has written this essay. If you need to outline your writing, like that's something that you normally do in real life, then you should do it for your college essay. That said, some students are much more successful with just free writing and just writing anything that comes to mind, at least at the beginning stage of the process. Like I mentioned before, it's important that you're writing about something that's not elsewhere on your application. Your college admissions counselor is going to have an idea of your grades, what your teachers think about you. What can you include that they wouldn't know about you otherwise? Start early as possible and edit until it's absolutely perfect. It's always really important to be modest in the college essay. You are going to be judged on your personality and character in this essay, so make sure that you're coming off as humble. Use lots of details and imagery. We often say show versus tell. That means to be able to bring your essay to life and show the admissions counselor what's happening in the scene that you're picturing for them. Finally, be vulnerable. Vulnerability will be able to, if you're vulnerable, you'll be able to show admissions counselors who you are truly inside, and it also lets admissions counselors feel like they really get to know you. Don't focus on impressing the admissions counselors. This always is a true way to fail in the college essay. It should be really focused about you and not what you think they want to hear. I always say don't rely on the common application prompts for the reasons I mentioned earlier. You can write about anything that you want. Don't repeat anything that's on the resume already or something that they're going to see in your application otherwise. Don't rely on the thesaurus to sound really fancy. Again, it should sound like a teenager has written this essay, and it should really sound like you. You don't want to spend more than 25% of the essay writing about someone other than you for the reasons I stated before. You don't want to brag or make excuses. Any kind of controversial, negative, or cliche topics are off limits. When thinking about how to make your college essay really unique, one trick I always tell students is if you were to drop your essay in your hallway of your high school without your name on it, your best friend should be able to pick up that essay and read it and know that it's you, not just because the story is so unique to who you are, but also because it really sounds like you. Your voice is coming through in that essay very clearly. Here are the takeaways to remember about the college essay. First, admissions counselors want to learn about who the applicants are as people. The essay should really reveal your hopes, fears, relationships, values, and give them an idea of who you'll be on their campus. Students should always spend a lot of time brainstorming. The best essays are ones that have a lot of thought before they start to write the drafts. The essay needs to hook in that reader from the beginning and capture their attention to the end. College admissions counselors are reading tons of essays, and you need to make sure that your essay stands out. And finally, don't be afraid to let your voice shine through.